Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today, and it's officially review season. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button because lots of reviews are coming your way. Tons of games are coming out, and that means purchasing decisions need to be made. For those of you who are unaware of my review style, it's all about the data, okay? Gameplay details, story information, audio experience, all without spoilers and designed to just give you the most information possible to make an informed purchasing decision. We don't do number scores here. You buy the game, you wait for a sale. What kind of sale do you wait for, or do you outright pass the game? That's what we do here. That sounds like your style. Hit the subscribe button, look out for future reviews. And now that the stage has been properly set for review season, ladies and gentlemen, let's open it up with Watch Dogs Legion. For a AAA game, this one's really flown under the radar, all things considered. You look at the likes of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, as well as, of course, Cyberpunk 2077, and they've really dominated the conversation while Watch Dogs sits from the back and just kind of, watches. I previewed Watch Dogs Legion a couple of months ago, and I found myself being impressed by its systems, but also noticing there was a conflict of interest in a number of areas of the game. Little did I know that I just needed to spend some more time with the game to see those systems develop, to hit a new level, and truly realize that what Watch Dogs Legion is more like a hidden gem. It's wildly inconsistent, it's very spotty, some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it, but underneath it all is a game that I think people are going to like because no two experiences can truly be the same. Whether it's based off how you build the team or some of the choices you make with the story, I think a lot of folks are going to appreciate what Ubisoft did with this game. So how does it all pan out? Let's get it started, setting the tone and talking about the story. So this is no single bit of hyperbole when I say that Watch Dogs Legion throws you into its gameplay quicker than most games out there. I'm talking 15 minutes, boom, you're in there, you're playing the game. Have fun. And that's great news for a lot of people. A lot of folks said with Watch Dogs 1, Watch Dogs 2, they pushed the story too hard. It was something people didn't care about. Get it out of the way. They do that in this game, and I think it'll be to the benefit of many because the gameplay is the main focus here in this title. But for those of you that care, there is an interesting world to dive into with Watch Dogs Legion. And I think I can explain why. You see, Watch Dogs Legion is set in a dystopian London. Private info and metadata is being sold, people's privacy is constantly being invaded, automation is taking over the hardworking jobs of the London citizens. With all of that accounted for, on top of that, DedSec has been framed for a terrorist attack. There is now a power vacuum, which is being filled by Albion. In the name of hunting down the rest of DedSec, they are locking down London. So of course, with an intro that's about 15 minutes long, you don't get a lot of time to establish these characters. So this baseline, this foundation is all you have to go off of for a long while. And it takes a very, very long time. I'm talking like 8 hours before the game really, actually, truly establishes something of interest that is of substance. And that hurts the game. So it puts a lot of pressure on the story. But what helps keep its head above water, I believe, are some of the themes of this game. Watch Dogs Legion is a commentary on modern politics, law enforcement, human treatment, social media, a lot of pertinent topics nowadays. And so some people don't like when that's in games. For me, I felt it kept the thing interesting for those first 10 hours as I was getting into a little bit more of the story, because what you see in this game represents a lot of worldviews you see online, you see outside your front door, like you just see a lot of things in this game being represented from the real world. However, one of its biggest issues is how the story is delivered to you. A lot of it is told through AR footage. So you're going to sort of see the Division 2 level of storytelling here. Furthermore, a lot of people are going to be shouting into your ear. But what makes up for that, right? That sounds like god-awful storytelling. Well, it's about how you assemble your team. Of course, one of the biggest components of Watch Dogs Legion is building the team, playing as whoever you want. But I didn't expect it to play a factor into the story. The fact that I can pull some random person off the street, have them join my team, and that they are in cutscenes, fully voiced, naturally interacting with other members of the team that I have put together myself is really, really cool. Combine that with some story choices that you can make, and no two experiences are really going to be the same. And that truly caught me off guard with this game, where, like I said, it doesn't work at times. You'll hear some funky lines in the audio, you'll hear some inconsistent voice acting, the tone will be off, or someone will respond to something someone else isn't even saying, and it doesn't make any sense. But there is something truly unique here. And because of that, I think it's going to be a hidden gem for people. I think a lot of people are going to really attach themselves to this system, replay the game, build different teams, try out different story choices. And for that, I commend Ubisoft because it's very different and ambitious compared to other Watch Dogs titles. But of course, assembling your team isn't just about the story. While it is amazing seeing in those cutscenes those teammates that you have assembled, it's about how they play differently. And there is truly a difference there. Whether you're playing as a spy who gets his very own unique fast vehicle with missiles built into them. He also gets a silenced pistol. So great for takedowns, great for infiltrating areas and quietly taking enemies down. Or you could be a drone expert who has a unique ability that allows for a drone to do a dive bomb onto an enemy and take them out. Or you could be a hacker who has quicker hacking time. Or you could be a leader on the streets and rally people around you to fight with you. It's incredible. There are so many ways to play the game. However, that brings up the other end of the spectrum, which hurts the game. There are amazing systems, amazing mechanics here, but the game never truly engages with you on a level where it demands you to change up your play style a lot. Many times I stopped and asked myself, why would I want to change off this spy? He's so good. He takes less damage. He stealthily takes people out. He fits my playstyle. It makes sense for the game. Why would I go in guns blazing? Why would I take the drone expert in? Why would I take the construction worker in? So what happens is you have a tool set, but the AI doesn't challenge you. The level design doesn't challenge you. So it's up to you to participate, to get involved in this sandbox and change up the experience as much as you actually desire and as much as you want to, because the game isn't really going to do it for you. And that is a design issue. However, it gives you a lot of tools to play with. So no two missions really played out the same. And I suppose that is some of the fun of it, but it's because I was doing it. I was changing my operatives, but it wasn't very often that the game said you need to be this type of person or you should try being this type of person for this mission. So yes, you can go in guns blazing. You can go in quietly. You can invade with just drones. You can camera surf like in, say, other Watch Dogs games where you're zipping from camera to camera and you're hacking from a mile out and causing a ton of havoc. There are a lot of ways to play the game, but it's like a video game with a great combo system, but the enemies all can be button mashed to death. Why would I press square, X, triangle, circle, square, when I could just do square, 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 and he's dead in the same amount of time? Why would I engage in the combo system? Same thing applies here. Same mindset applies here when it comes to Watch Dogs Legion. What happens is in the open world, as you complete activities, you will raise the defiance of various locations, and then you'll eventually liberate a borough. When you liberate a borough, you'll engage in what is a relatively unique mission compared to the rest of the game to free said borough. Upon doing that, you will acquire a very unique operative for your team. And now, the difference in these operatives is also in what they're wearing. So if I go into a construction site with a construction worker outfit on, people won't attack me. People won't question my presence there because I blend in properly. Unfortunately, there's a pretty big limitation on that. It's either construction worker or Albion guard. And so you can go into Albion bases as well and infiltrate without having to worry about being caught by security. And so you can just drop in, drop out. The other issue is also that while you could play a number of ways, there's one specific way that's incredibly easy. The cargo drone is OP. Any single mission, you can get on this bad boy. You can fly it to the top of your building. You can fly into any location. You can just drop in, drop out. It's that simple. It is that simple. It's a little ridiculous, but it kind of speaks to the freedom of the gameplay. And you could play a number of ways, but it brings about that question again. Why would I do this differently? This is so much easier. Why would I change it? Some of these world activities you're going to be completing are defacing propaganda, taking photos, disrupting hacking hubs. You'll also recognize some of the puzzles that were introduced in Watch Dogs 2, where you're going to be changing the wiring on the wall. And I always liked this puzzle style. I thought it worked really well for the game. It's still fun here. You also have some platforming challenges with spider bots, so they do change it up there a little bit. But overall, think of the Saboteur as well as State of Decay 2, mash them together, and you've got Watch Dogs Legion, which I think creates a very unique experience. You see, there's a permadeath mode, which is introduced right off the get-go, and I highly recommend that you introduce yourself to that you engage with that, because what happens is you start to attach yourself to that spy, to that guard, to that cop, and you're like, I can't lose this person. I need them. You start to think through your experience a lot more, because if they die, they're gone. That's it. They're done, man. And so that there really brings the experience to another level, but it is an option. I started off without it, and then I switched to it. I would highly recommend playing with permadeath because it grows that attachment to those characters that originally were nameless, didn't matter. But hey, that spy, man, he's got me through a bunch of missions. I always need him. And the AI, while they aren't the smartest, they do a lot of damage. And so then you can sit there and go, wow, I am in deep waters now because I did not think this through. So that permadeath really has you engaging on another level. Something worth calling out, but it is an option. There was also brand new hand-to-hand combat here. Definitely not my favorite part of the game because it kind of reminds me of Assassin's Creed Syndicate where they had this whole new hand-to-hand combat thing, but it was just like new animations. Same thing here. You're pressing the X button to attack, Y to break their defense, or B to dodge. When an enemy attacks you, you dodge. There's a sound effect. That means the window's open. You clap back. Obviously, if the enemy's blocking, you just break defense and you press X to attack. I'm not asking for a fully fledged hand-to-hand combat system by any stretch of the imagination. I am aware it is a cyber-based game. It's all about the technology. I'm just saying that it's one of those things that they really tout and they go, this is crazy, isn't it? And it's not that crazy. It's just kind of there. And most times I got annoyed with it and said, okay, boop, pull out the gun. Just take him out that way. It's a lot easier that way. It's a lot less frustrating. What I do think is interesting is the AI will honor you in hand-to-hand combat. They will not take out their guns until you take out yours. So you want to go fisticuffs, you can go fisticuffs. And that's great because, hey, there's a teammate that supports that. There's a teammate that literally can knock people out quicker. And that's cool. There's also dynamic moments throughout the game where a teammate can get kidnapped. A teammate can get arrested if you fail a mission and you're not killed, but just like I said, arrested. And so dynamic missions will engage where you have to free them. You have to find that kidnapper. Same thing goes with, of course, recruiting. However, what happens is you'll start to overlap into mission areas. You'll start to overlap into some of the faces that you see. So the game starts to show itself where there's a level of jank there. But it's not the worst thing in the world. For everything that's good, there's something bad attached to it. But it's up to you to decide how good is this thing and how bad is this thing. And I think it's going to be wildly different for a lot of people out there. Now, let's touch on the audio experience because I think even there, it's one of those things where do you care or do you not care? Voice acting. Voice acting in this game is wildly inconsistent because the game never knows who it's talking to. So you got a couple of set characters that have their lines recorded. They are absolutely going to be there. But they don't know if they're talking to the spy, to the old lady you grabbed out the street. They don't know who exactly they are talking to. So you'll have someone say something ridiculous that they're not even in the same world right now, and it won't match up with that conversation at all. And it can break your experience. But if you can laugh that off, or if you don't really care, or if you kind of expect that, or you understand that, then it won't ruin things. It just seems a little off. As for the performance side of things, not the best. But that's also because some of the technology that's there alters people's voices heavily. There's like pitch changers, so some people's voices are higher, some are lower. It's fascinating technology, really it is, that you can play as anyone. Your missions can turn out different. You can recruit anyone. Those people are present in the cutscenes, in your story. So it feels like your own Legion. Your Legion is going to be different from mine, and that's one of the game's strengths. So while it's one of those experiences where not everyone's going to like it, it's for sure a hidden gem. But the audio, when it comes to music, effects like guns and footsteps, environmental sound effects, they're all kind of like lower tier. You can tell their main focus was on this gameplay system, allowing you to play as anybody. And so if those gameplay systems are interesting to you, and you do enjoy those, and you do think that sounds fun, I think you'll have a blast with this game. But just know there are some flaws. The story is kind of non-existent. It's told through holograms, audio, and a lot of reading or audio logs that you can collect around the world that's not directly told to you in the main story. So it's very out of the way, putting more weight on the gameplay. That gameplay is great, but the systems there don't encourage you to really diversify your experience. So it's up to you. If you are into that type of almost sandbox style of gameplay, you'll love what's here. However, it's wildly inconsistent. At the end of the day, as I played more of it, I liked more of it. I really appreciated the surprise of story choices. I appreciated building my own team. I was impressed with Watch Dogs Legion in a number of ways. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I now leave you with my rating. Overall, this is a wait for a sale for me personally. I would say around the $40 mark would be a safe area to buy into this game. But it's up to you in the sense that if these mechanics sound really cool to you, then $60 could be a no-brainer for you. Or if you're one of the few people who's getting it through the 3080 benefit of having Watch Dogs Legion attached to your graphics card, then you should also give it a try. It's definitely not a game that I think you should outright skip because it's very unique, and that's truly saying something when it comes to a Ubisoft title where they're always called out for the same copy and paste. This game does respect your time. Its world map isn't bloated. It has a diverse experience waiting for everybody. It's just about how much you want to engage in those systems. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I leave it in your hands. What do you think of Watch Dogs Legion? Are you picking it up? Let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to crush it with the support here. Love each and every single one of you, and I'll talk with you soon. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.